Welcome back to the Power of Manifestation. My name is Andrea Miller, and I am delighted to host this session on what everybody wants, making money. Oh my gosh, you guys. My guest she has such an extraordinary story and so many extraordinary actionable insights. And honestly, she has the best visuals you've ever seen. Her name is Alleah Friedrichs. Alleah is a speaker, coach, and entrepreneur who teaches manifestation for the pragmatic. This session is called Manifesting Money, How I Went from $440,000 in debt to a millionaire by shifting my energy. Let that sink in. $440,000 in debt and creating a thriving 8-figure wine import business. Alleah developed a 5-step manifestation framework that's grounded, repeatable, and refreshingly no fluff. She is known for her blend of humor, honesty, and clear action steps that make the exceptional feel achievable. I just put those two words together. Exceptionable. That's a great new word. Today, she helps entrepreneurs and everyday people alike rewire limiting beliefs, reset their energy, and create lives that feel both abundant and sustainable. Welcome, Alleah. I'm so glad to have you in our event.
Thank you, Andrea. Great to be here.
And guys, before we go too much further, remember to grab your Power of Manifestation handbook. If you have it, if you don't, you can get it and download it immediately at powerofmanifestation.com. You're going to want to take a ton of notes in this session, and you're going to want to have the highlights from this session right there for you so you can really pay attention and not worry about writing it all down. Oh my gosh, Alleah, I'm so excited to talk to you. Your story is incredible. Your insights are incredible. Let's start, if you don't mind, share the turning point moment where you realized manifestation wasn't woo, but essential to building and ultimately thriving in your business and in your life.
Yeah, so it's funny. So there's like kind of two key moments. The first key moment, like we all saw The Secret like 100 million years ago, right? And we all liked it. But for a lot of us, we didn't get started right after that. And so like you fast forward a couple years, I was in San Francisco, I was in clean tech startup, and I had a panic attack. And I thought there was an earthquake happening, and I realized it was a panic attack. And when I realized it was a panic attack, I realized, oh my God, something's really wrong with me. And shortly after that, my mom started sending me YouTube videos, and it was like an Abraham Hicks clip that just like spoke to me hardcore. And I was just like, I'm in. I was just like, I clearly have zero strategy for life, and I don't know if this is going to work, but I have got nothing to lose, so I may as well try. So that was like just the very first moment. But then of course, there's like years go by where you're just consuming the videos, feeling better, learning about it, without actually sitting your ass down and doing what they taught in the videos.
Preach, sister. It's so easy to be in that like consumption and entertainment mode versus doing it. And guys, it is in the doing. It is in the practicing that's where the magic happens. And yet you got to get it in, like you got to consume it. But I love this. This is like, I feel like very few teachers are actually reminding you of what seems like really freaking obvious. It's not meant to just entertain you.
There's a difference.
You gotta do it.
Yeah, when you are consuming the information, when you're reading, when you're watching videos, stuff like this, when you are consuming information, you are not having transformation. You have to push this shit out of your body, which is creation. You have to write, you have to speak, you have to create, you have to re-push the information out of your body so then you can have the transformation. And it took me like 5 years from going from like buying into it and consuming it and getting my dopamine hits off of learning to sitting my ass down and doing it. And that's the moment for me, which was more powerful. I'm like 5 years in, I've like quit the job, I've started the business, but I'm in the business. It's growing and it kind of looks successful, but I'm still broke. I'm still miserable. but I sound like a teacher. I've watched so many videos. I sounded like a teacher. So I have this extra layer of guilt being like, people think I'm a teacher, but I'm miserable, I'm broke. And I had this moment where I was like, what the fuck, Alleah? What the fuck? Like, why are you not doing what the videos are actually saying to do? And for me, I sat my ass down. I was like, Alleah, you are not standing up until you do what the videos say. So it's funny because I like thought I knew everything, but I sat down. I was like, wait, what do you do?
Yeah. And I got to give you huge props because it takes a lot of guts and confidence to admit that. And guys, honestly, let's just all admit when we are, I think it's Tony Robbins who talks about understanding versus knowing. And knowing is when you're doing it. And I just wanted to make a little sarcastic comment like, so you mean, Alleah, to change, you actually have to change, right? Because it's not theory. And I think a lot of us have been in that mode, and amen to call it what it is. The dopamine hits where it's like, oh, that feels so good. That's a yes in my body. It's like, yes, I resonate with that. But the magic is when you say, now I have to do it. And that's where the discomfort is. And that's where the growth is. And that's where the magic is. But I love what you're saying.
Wish somebody told me this about manifesting 14 years ago when I got started. It would have saved years. So what I wish I knew crisply and clearly 14 years ago is that there is a difference between learning about manifestation and actually doing it. It's not hard, but we do have to do it. And the funny thing is that we feel like we are doing it when we are learning this, when we are conceptually getting it, it feels good to learn, and we feel like we're doing it even when we are not actually doing what we just learned. Doing manifestation is not listening to videos, not even this one. It's not saying you're manifesting something. Doing intentional manifesting is getting real with what kind of thoughts you have. How do you speak? What is going on in your mind that is not serving what you want? And intentionally changing thoughts in a way that's genuine, reprogramming your mind so you're reprogramming your energy. All of this you can understand that it needs to be done without actually doing it. Intentional manifesting is sitting down and changing how you feel without anything else changing around you. It's owning your emotion. If you like the idea of it, put in the comments, own it. It's about consistently, systematically identifying what's going on in your mind and reaching for a better feeling thought over and over again. It's not hard, but you do have to do it. And oh my God, you guys, when you do it, shit, that's when you get really powerful. And then when you get really good at identifying what it is that you want and then spending time wiggling into, well, how would it feel to have what I want? Now we're quantum leaping. Now we're brewing up and becoming a match to that future. If you like the idea of that, put down in the comments, brew up the future. Or just put down in the comments, brew. You guys, we gotta own our emotions and we gotta have a vision and learn how to feel it. But we have to brew it up. So put brew it up in the comments. And my loves, if you like the way I'm teaching, then I invite you to go a teeny bit deeper from me. The first step is free, and it's good to just double check that you like my teachings. There's a free abundance meditation. The link is in the bio where I can really show you what this work looks like on a deeper level than what I can do in a little video. So go to the link. It says Linktree, grab it. The abundance meditation in the bio. It's not really a meditation. Like I said, it's a guided lesson on how to do this stuff deeper. So you guys are powerful. I'm proud of you. Stick with me here and I will see you soon.
By the way, I know you talk about being bitch slapped, and I just came from an event and was so bitch slapped in the best way. It was like, oh, this hurts. Oh yes, it's what I need. And that's where the magic is, because it's like, sometimes we just need to get out of our own heads and our own story. And it's so comfortable there in our heads and in our stories. But it's back to, until we're willing, unless everything is going swimmingly, in which case, great, keep doing what you're doing. But your point's the right one, which is it wasn't going swimmingly. Like you still were stuck. So how did shifting your energy make success possible before you started changing the external strategies? Because so often we're like looking for that outside in, but you did it from the inside out.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, so like at the end of the day, let's just agree we've all probably drank the law of attraction Kool-Aid here. Like at the base, we're probably all have agreed that like energy attracts like energy. So once we agree on this, almost nothing we do is logical anymore because almost everything we were doing in an energy that was getting us things we don't like means that it's not logical to worry anymore. It's not logical to obsess anymore. It's not logical to argue anymore if we have all agreed that like energy attracts like energy. And so this is like really boiling down to that phrase we were talking about earlier, which is like, this is the art of changing how you feel without anything else changing so that everything can then change. And
okay, hang on. So, but say it again. Say that again. You have to change what's on the inside, even when nothing on the outside is changing.
We are looking at changing how we feel in our PJs on our shitty couch with shitty people around us doing shitty things with no money in the bank account. We're looking at, in that scenario, changing how I feel without asking single thing around me to change, because that is the moment we become unconditional. Until that moment has occurred, we're conditional. We're saying, my good vibe is conditional on money being there. My good vibe is conditional on you being nice. And if we are ever,
and that's giving away your power, right?
No power, zero
power. And then if it's not going well, then it's everybody else's to blame. So what you're talking about is like the ultimate reclamation of power. Like it is the ultimate agency. And guess where it is, guys? It is freaking inside of you.
This is when we say, listen, everybody around me, you're off the hook. My bank account, you're off the hook. My cranky partner, off the hook. My shitty boss, off the hook. Myself, for not being perfect all these years, off the hook. Everybody's off the hook because nothing matters. Nothing matters other than me sitting here in some place, changing how I feel without anything else changing. And so when we do that, we are now saying, I'm unconditional. I can decide how I feel. I am deciding I'm in control of the energy that is being emitted out of my body. I'm in control of my emotions. And when we are in control of our emotions without anything else happening, that's how we change the point of attraction. That's how we have a clear signal to the universe. That's when we are now a vibrational match to this thing that we want in the future. So this is the art of just in your ripped up PJs on the couch you don't like, changing how you feel.
I mean, it's so powerful. It is so freaking powerful. And you know what I love? It's that goddamn easy. Like it is. In fact, the only other thing I want to add, and then I have another question for you. It reminds me of Neville Goddard's sage wisdom that everything around us is us pushed out. Everything that is internal is a reflection of what is external and vice versa. The more that I've internalized that, the more I have been free as F to go, oh, great. Because if I don't like what's being mirrored to me, I quit blaming the freaking mirror. I mean, yes. And it's a practice, right? So it's kind of back to what you were saying, like I got it before theoretically, but now, and especially when it's like, oh, I don't like what's in that mirror. Okay, Andrea, well, that's you, girl. And and I love what you were saying, Alleah. It's not about blame. It's not about blaming myself, blaming other people. It is like the ultimate reclamation of power.
And you know what is better than money? You'll probably agree. What's better than the money is waking up and not having worries, is not being worried about the world, is not being worried about other people. It is about going through your life with this light, jovial, at least that's my personality, this light, jovial energy, just enjoying what's there and being light.
Totally. And, we've talked about this in another one of the sessions, that there are other millionaires out there and other people that have vast external wealth and success that are really miserable people. And I know everyone's like, oh my God, but we want to be the millionaire and happy. And yes, you can if you decide, and you can decide. But I do, because you're like, what's even better than money is the feeling of joy and peace. And it just so happens that it's those feelings of joy and peace that also lead to the money.
Yeah.
I mean,
And just
that's how it works.
The tiny bit of fine print to bring a tiny bit of reality in. It doesn't mean people like us are free from stress. It doesn't mean we don't go through things. It doesn't mean we don't have contrast. It means that the majority of our life is light and happy. And as we are now manifesting into something bigger, there's turbulence on the way as we are bucking old energy currents and going into a new one. So it's like, we're not free from stress, but for the most part, we're skipping down the street drinking oat milk lattes.
Yeah, well, we're free from the tyranny of thinking that our problems are outside of us. In fact, I want to add one more comment. I just actually was chatting with my team about this because yes, the problems are there. I'm also an entrepreneur and CEO. And just before this call, I was like, oh, we've got this problem. And I said to my team, for anybody who studies the Kabbalah, the kind of mystical arm of the Jewish faith, there's this idea of tikkun. And it's like your soul's lesson. And as I've understood this and internalized it, when something goes wrong, in air quotes, and maybe it is really wrong, it's a problem in the business, it's a problem in a relationship, it's not enough money, it's the opportunity to say, oh, this tikkun is my teacher. It is my soul helping me correct what is misaligned. And it's a reflection. It's, this whole business of Kabbalah, we are vessels that shine the light of the Creator through us. And it's beautiful. Yes,
exactly.
It's so powerful. 100%. So when I literally said to my team, there's a problem with this affiliate. I'm like, you know what, guys? We are one soul on our team. The tikkun is this mistake we made. And guess what? We're just going to, there was a message in the tikkun and we're going to fix it. Everyone, it was like the whole team was like
closer to the manifestation.
Yes. But it's like, rather than it being this scary thing to hide from or to move away from, it's like, no, tikkun is inviting you in. These lessons where we feel discomfort, where we feel lack, it's that sacred mirror that we were talking about a minute ago that is showing us where there is lack. And that's what you cracked. Okay, so what were your biggest sabotaging stories that were running your life and business before you?
It all starts here. That is the correct first question. I'm like, Alleah, what the fuck? Like, why are you not doing the shit that you know? Why are you not doing it? So I sit my ass down. I'm like, Alleah, do it. And they're like, wait, what do I do? And then all of a sudden I hear like the Abraham Hicks voice. You cannot have a new life with an old story. So I'm like, okay, well, what is my old story? So we're going over the 5 steps. So now we're going to go from, now we've just been talking about theory. We're going to spend the rest of the time talking about how do you actually do this shit?
5-step, you've got a 5-step framework. Let's go, guys. Buckle up.
This is step number 1. You have to identify your shitty story. So I sat down, I said, okay, what is my old story? And then you can ask yourself, all right, well, the old story, the current story, which is based on the past, is how you answer the question, how's it going? So I sat down and I imagined that I was with somebody and to find what words easily come out of my mouth. What words easily come out of my mouth? So that was like, hey, Alleah, how's it going? Not good. I'm stressed. I can't think. I have brain fog. I don't know how to get out of debt. I'm barely breaking even. I do not know how to grow my business. I hate this. Fucking hate this. That's what, did you hear how easily I just spilled that out? Because that was on my mind and repeat in my energy for years. And so I wrote that down and I had this moment of like, that is my energy. No wonder I am in this position. That is the narrative. That is the story. That is, whether I'm saying it like that or not, that energy exists in my body 24/7 and it's making me hate life. So that was step number 1. So step number 2, you can't go on with that. You can't go on with that. You have to.
I like how eloquent you are. Rewrite that shit.
You have to rewrite that shit. So here's the deal. What doesn't work is super fucking positive affirmations that seem so far away. Because if you are like, the money's coming, everything is good, Your body calls your bullshit. You roll your eyes and you do not feel affirmed. An affirmation is not an affirmation if it doesn't make you feel affirmed. So you can't just rewrite it into something like some bullshit. I'm not really a fake it till you make it kind of person, because that is going to activate doubt in my body. So let's like look at this in action. We're going to like go deep dive into this, because if there's one thing I can like give to the people today is that you can do this today. You can absolutely do this today. So let's like take a little sample of what was going on in my body at the time. Like, let's just abbreviate it to 3 things. I'm so stressed. I don't know how to make money or get out of debt. And I hate this. You can feel that as I go back
no,
there.
you totally feel it. Yeah. No,
Right?
you totally feel it.
I remember sitting there feeling like the brain fog felt like somebody poured a chemical into my brain. And I didn't have kids back then. And I technically had all the time in the world, but I couldn't do anything. I would just like rewrite my to-do list over and over and over again, getting almost nothing done. So anyways, in that what the fuck moment, I sat down and for the first time, I wrote out my first story. So people watching, get your piece of paper out. This should not be like learn now, do later. This should be like learn now, do now. So sit down, get your piece of paper out and write down how you answer the question, how's it going?
So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to pause here, guys. Give everybody a few minutes, because I love it, Alleah, so much what you're saying to do now, right? Rather than like, hey, I'll do it later. Well, later often never comes. So let's, guys, take a few minutes. Don't be afraid. This is the point of transformation right here, right now. And only you can give it to yourself. Okay, guys, you've written it down. Whew, good job. Okay, Alleah, what's next?
So now we have to rewrite that shit. We have to shift, but we can't do it so positive that our brain calls our bullshit. So here's the thing, you guys, we need to find a new way to describe the situation. And we're not even trying to be positive. We're just trying to shift up 10 or 20%. So you've got to find some new words. You have to rewrite it, but it must be believable, number 1. And number 2, it must feel better. It doesn't even have to feel good. It just has to feel better than your old shitty story. So here's an example. I'm so stressed. So let's just feel this, right? We can feel that in this moment. I'm so stressed and I'm trying to find a new set of words. I'm not saying this set of words is perfect for you. I'm giving you an example, right? So for me, I'm ready for a change. I'm letting myself off the hook for being perfect. I honor my path and I'm ready to practice new emotions. Okay, so now the check and balance. Do I believe this? Do I believe I'm ready for a change? Yes. Do I believe, can I let myself off the hook for being perfect? Yes. Do I honor my path? Yes. Am I ready to practice a new emotion? Yes. So this checks out. If for you, one of these lines like didn't check out, you just wouldn't use that one. You'd go back and find something that you genuinely do believe. I'm ready for a change. I'm ready to breathe deeper. I'm ready to let other people off the hook. I'm ready. I'm feeling called for a new way. My old way isn't working, right? So you're looking for something else to say that you can nod your head to. And then you can ask yourself, does this version feel better in my body? So let's just check this. I'm so stressed. I'm so stressed. I'm so stressed. I'm ready for a change. I'm ready for a change. I'm ready for a change. Boom, energy shift. I believe it and it feels better. And if you believe it, this is like that neurotransmitter rewiring, right? So this is when, like, if you've been saying, I'm so stressed for so long, you have a neurotransmitter pathway in your brain that's really wide because you've said it a billion times. It's super wide. All your little neurons have clamored together. So when you wake up in the morning and your little neurons want to work, they just go down the I'm so stressed path. That makes your signal be stressed. And now you're manifesting more being stressed. However, when you shift this into, I'm ready for a change, you are now literally rewriting and whacking, like creating a new neurotransmitter pathway. And so as you create that new neurotransmitter pathway, you believe it and it feels better. So now our process is to rehearse this and ingrain it into our body. So we're like manually moving those neurons down a new path, practicing it, widening it. So we have a new, wider neurotransmitter pathway, which is equivalent. What we will feel is a new default energy living in our body.
So Alleah, let me just pause right there and just say, hey guys, let's just take another 1 minute, 2 minutes. So whatever, if those words resonate with you, great. You got it. Alleah did your homework for you. Whatever it is, if you're ready for more abundance, like own it. So let's just take a few, let's get this done, guys. I want at the end of this session.
Yeah, you get more points for trying and attempting right now than getting it perfect later. So you get 100% points.
And then not doing it. Yeah, no, right now, I mean, even I going through it without even having written it down feel better because it is truth.
So that's one example. Let's look at another. I don't know how, whatever, to get out of debt, to make money, to be happy, to grow my business. So you got some sort of language. For me, it was all of these things. So now we have another thing. The part of my default source, I don't know how to make money. I don't know how to grow this business. I do not know how, I don't know what to do right now. So we're going to look, right? We're going to rewrite that shit and we want to be believable and we want to feel better. I might not know, but I am curious. Let's check it. Do I believe that I'm curious? Yes, I'm very fucking curious. So let's just do the energy check now. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't know. But I am curious. Lighter energy. Are you feeling it?
So many people say, I don't know. And it's true. In the moment that they say, I don't know, it's correct. I don't know how to grow my business. I don't know how to get out of debt. I don't know how to get to the next level of financial freedom, wealth. I don't know. But here's the thing. You cannot know while you believe you don't know at the same time. Energetically, saying I don't know locks you into not knowing. So right now, I want to invite you to think about the thing you don't know about. Is it something about your body, your relationship, your kids, your business, money? And for just a moment here, I want you to feel the heaviness of the energy of not knowing what to do. And I invite you to take a deep breath with me now and say, but I am curious. I'm curious what to do. I'm curious what to say. I'm curious what a good path forward might be. Can you feel that energy change? Shocked if you start saying this multiple times a day for the next couple days, that ideas and solutions will open up to you.
And then I like to add something in like this. I understand that my lack energy has manifested more lack. I'm ready to prioritize energy before action. Energy before action. Let's rewrite my last line here. I hate this. Can you imagine starting a wine importing company where you travel around the world buying wine and then you sell it? I'm like in the best restaurants all around the country. I am growing this business. It's amazing actually. I'm in 3 restaurants from Chef's Table season 1. I'm in all the top places, but I'm not making any money. I'm miserable, right? And so in the middle of this, I fucking hate it. So let's look, a rewrite.
Well, and the irony is that people looking at you, and this is where FOMO can be really crazy. So millions of people who love wine and who are entrepreneurs would look at you and say, oh my God, she's got the best life. But that's
you can go find the YouTube videos. You can go, if you do a little digging, you can find my wine YouTube videos and you can go judge for yourself.
Yeah, no, but I love that you're, how you're describing that contrast from the outside looking in. A lot of people would be like, look at this amazing woman. And of course you were amazing, but from the inside out, you hated it.
Yeah. I remember getting to the point where I was like, if this is it, I don't even want it. Fuck. But I also knew that was faulty thinking because I knew the problem was inside. So I didn't spend too much time there. So let's look. So I hate this. Got to find something else to say. We can't love our life if we are continually thinking about how much we hate something. I'm ready to look for things to love. I'm ready to appreciate more. Let me just think. Let me check. Do I believe this? Am I ready to look for things to love? Yes. Am I ready to appreciate more? Yes. Let's just do the energy check. I hate this. I'm ready to look for things to love. That feels really good, right? And so, and I like to add maybe a little extra something yummy, right? I do think I can play this energy game. This is possible if I can prioritize energy. I can prioritize energy. I can fucking do this. I can fucking do this, right? Then, so now we have rewritten the story. And now if I was like whenever I work with clients, this is the first thing that we do. And then I'll go copy and paste these rewrites. So then we have a narrative. If we were just looking at what was rewritten, I have a new story to practice. I'm ready for a change. I'm letting myself off the hook for being perfect. I honor my path. I'm ready to practice a new emotion. I may not know how, but I am curious. I understand my lack energy manifests more lack. I'm ready to prioritize energy before action. I'm ready to look for things to love. I'm ready to appreciate more. I do think I can play this energy game. The money is possible if I prioritize money. I can prioritize money. In fact, I'm absolutely effing going to do this. Now it's up to me to rehearse this like it is my motherfucking job. I need to build
and
this
it
energy.
is.
It is.
And it is. Or it's more of the same, right? I mean, it's like nothing changes until you change. Like, I know that's so reductive and sounds so fucking stupid, but it's true. Nothing changes until you change.
And this is how we do
that's
it.
The good news.
We look at what is there, we rewrite it. For me, this is kind of like there's Abraham Hicks explanation where if you have a train going really fast in one direction, can that train all of a sudden go fast in the other direction? No, it has to slow down. It has to come to a stop, and then it has to build up energy in a different direction. So the whole rewriting process for me is really the process of like slowing that train down. So then we then have this new narrative, we practice this, and then next thing you know, a couple weeks later, a couple days, whatever, you can rewrite that story up again. And when we realize that this is about systematically looking at what's on our mind and reaching for an incrementally better thought, we realize I'm going to be rewriting everything perpetually. And if I do this, the compounding effect of me increasing my energy over time is how these miracles happen.
Yeah, no, it's so powerful. And I like just even kind of digging into some of the notes. I mean, how you emphasize using humor. I mean, giving ourselves that mental bitch slap, right? Because it's so easy to stay stuck in the narrative. I mean, that's the whole point. But it's like, it's more of the same, right? And a lot of times, back to the cocoon thing, a lot of times life will, like, if you're stuck long enough, thank you, God, honestly, creator, source, universe, we don't need to be religious here. Thank you for the bitch slap coming from outside. And often it's an illness. Often it's a financial disruption. It's a relationship, right? And I've seen it in my own life. When something is stuck long enough, then the bitch slap comes from outside. But this is, really, I love your practice. It does. And if you're lucky, right? Because then it forces change. But this is your steps. To me, the beauty is being able to say, this is what I'm going to choose for myself. And that's a gift. And incrementally, and it can happen fast, as much as you're saying, hey, don't try to go too fast, but that starting with curiosity, like that opens the door to possibility, which is so powerful. Okay, let's keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. So this was like the first part. This was like rewriting your shit is like, I talk about it as like, it's getting out of jail. Your old story is your jail cell. You can't have a new life. Right. And so, okay, that was a huge part of the work. But then I also knew a couple of things, right? So there I am, and I rewrite this. And now I'm practicing these rewrites. I'm getting into my body. I'm feeling relief from being tormented by the old story for the first time. So then like within a week or two, couple weeks, I'm ready to do the other things I learned in the videos, the thousands of videos I watched, right? So the next
She watched thousands of videos, so you only have to watch one. No, just kidding. But hang on, but I just wanted to I love that that just even what you said, that in as little as a couple weeks and even a few days, like those shifts can start to feel really significant in a very modest amount of time. But it's at getting started. It's committing to the process, right?
Exactly. So where I was at this, right? So I'm like 5 years, around 5 years into knowing about all this stuff. I've launched the wine importing business. I started off with $220,000 of personal debt. In the first couple years, with my power of manifestation, I manifested a business debt, a business loan, another 200 something thousand. I'm around the $440,000 worth of debt. Nuance, I manifested a loan. I didn't manifest a profitable business model, right? So I got my loan. Now I'm just under $500,000 in debt, but the business still isn't making money. I'm still stressed, but the business is growing. I'm doing a few $100,000 revenue a year, just breaking even, right? So this is where I'm at. So I'm like 3, 4, 5 years into this business. It's not profitable. Haven't made one penny. Ripping my hair out, holding the personal debt for over 10 years, tons of guilt, tons of worthiness issues around that debt. And then when I start doing this work, the rewriting and what I'm about to explain, the abundance future casting in the routine, well, for 6 months, nothing happened. For 6 months, it was just me and my faith in this work. But I was doing the work for the first time, so I knew I was on the path for the first time. So I'm doing the work every single day. I'm doing my rewrites. Every single day I'm doing what I'm about to teach you. Every single day I'm actually doing it so I can feel it's there. And then all of a sudden I get this phone call or I get a text message from somebody who says, we need to try your wines. I don't know who this is. I'm like, well, who are you? They're like, oh, we need to buy them. And I'm like, you have never tasted them. Like, I know, but we know who you are. We need to buy them. Like rolling my eyes because I'm getting a lot of requests. I'm kind of like known. I'm doing organic and natural wines, my portfolio. I'm using law of attraction to grow the business. I'm just not using law of attraction to be happy or make money. So the business is actually growing. It's doing very well. I actually have a niche for myself. I have a well-respected portfolio. I'm getting into all the places, but I'm not happy or making money. I'm actually like very much opposite. So that's where I am. And I realize, right, in all of this, that I was spending my energy manifesting a wine importing business, not what I really wanted, which was money and easy days and enjoying myself.
Yeah.
Once I realized that I had been spending time just manifesting a wine importing business rather than what I really wanted. And this is important because a lot of people out there, you might be manifesting something because you assume it's going to give you what you want. But don't be like me, where you spend 4 years manifesting a wine importing business, realizing you didn't care about the wine importing business. Actually, what you wanted was like a lot of money and easy days.
Amen. Totally.
Yeah, absolutely. So I start doing all of this work. Nothing happens for 6 months. I get this text message though. So I decide to go down and fly down to Dallas. I show these random people 11 wines and they buy 9 of them and they buy the maximum amount. And I left with a $330,000 purchase order, which was like what I did revenue the year before. And I was like, holy shit, I missed my flight that night because I was just like, what the fuck just happened? And then I poured my energy work into that relationship and it grew and grew. And I was inspired to stop doing business some ways. I was inspired to start doing business a new way. I was able to innovate that way of business with this client, get other clients similar to that. I was able to of doing this energy work, I had a new set of optics. I had a new set of inspirations. I had a new set of things I said yes or no to. And then I poured appreciation into this new business model. And within about 18 months from starting all this, I made my first $1 million. And I paid the debt off, sister. And then I kept going, cashing in 50 to 100 grand a month, cash into my personal business account. It's still crazy to even talk about. Still even crazy. And then we probably got up to about the $10 million a year mark. And it was amazing. It was really amazing. So that's just an example of like, okay, when you do this work that I'm teaching you, like your motherfucking life depends on it, and you give it some time to let your old energy burn off and build up a new energy, that's what you can expect. But you do have to do it.
Well, what I love about that is what I'm gleaning from what you're saying are those, you said for those 6 months, nothing happened, but I want to correct that if it's accurate. In those 6 months, it seems like you were feeling a lot better. You were actually starting to enjoy it. And that to me is where the freaking ninja move is.
Nothing on the outside changed, but I was
everything
changing
on the inside. And that's we touched on that at the beginning of our conversation, but I just think it's such an important point. And it reminds me a lot of, frankly, I'm an entrepreneur in my own business, and it very, very close parallels. Right? It's like, oh my God, I'm grinding. I'm trying to do all this stuff out there, when the truth is the magic is on the inside. You do the magic on the inside, find the gratitude, find the joy, overcome all those, I'm stressed, I don't know, all those shitty stories we tell ourselves, so that internal shift starts to feel really good. And then the outside world.
The urgency is gone, because you're like, hey, I'm actually okay. I'm actually happy right now. Okay. And the whole nervous system comes down. And this actually brings me to the third point.
Yeah. So let's talk about step 3. Yeah, yes, please.
We can fly through. I also have a resource for your audience to go deeper, since we'll have to rush through these a little bit, but I can talk about that at the end. You can probably link it too in somewhere. So the third piece is your abundance energy. Okay. If your abundance energy, yes, we need to rewrite our shit. We need to slow down the train. We need to get out of jail. But then we have to come in and say, do I have an abundant energy? Because if for years, and this isn't even for people who are broke or in debt. I work with 80% of the people I work with are business owners, and a lot of them have large established businesses. Okay. So this isn't just, it's not just broke people who need to do abundance work. Okay. Because this is really about, do you go out into the world and are you being like, it's not enough, lack. Millionaires, people with big businesses have lack mentalities, right? Or are you going out with this default energy of acknowledging like how abundant beauty is, how abundant nature is, how much there is everywhere. So I knew that I needed to increase my abundance work. And so in the very beginning, it can be hard to do that on the topic of money. Because if you've been stressed out, whether you're broke or whether you have a large company that has a cash flow issue, or you're trying to grow, but it seems very hard because of the world or whatever, then we need to start raising your abundance energy, not on the topic of money. Because the energy of abundance isn't really just money. The energy of abundance is like the essence of like so much. And we can activate.
Well, money is energy. I mean, to me, it's all a continuum. I mean, it's, we think of money as out there and separate, but the truth is, it's not a pile of gold coins. And even if it was, it's still, it's back to this whole reflection business, right? I mean, we think of it as separate, but it's actually all energy. I mean, not to get too woo, but it's all energy and consciousness.
Yeah, totally. So we need to raise this up. So how I did it is that I would go out on my deck, right? And remember, in the middle, I'm very much in debt. I'm very stressed. I've just been rewriting for a couple weeks, so I'm feeling better. But I go out on my deck, and I know that it's my job to start appreciating the abundance that exists. So I go out on my deck and I start doing this like every day, a couple times a day. Maybe I forget for a few days, who cares? Jump back in and go out and be like, there are so many trees. There's so much beauty. There's so much nature. There's so many flowers. There's so much air. There's so many clouds. There's so many leaves. There's so much grass. There's so much space. And for 5 or 10 minutes a day, exercising the so muchness. Now, for somebody else, it might be so many coffee cups, so many cozy things in your house, so many memories, so many photos. But for me, I anchored into the so muchness of nature. And holy shit, this just, the rewrites were good, but this bumped it up even more. And so this was my abundance work, really making sure I was activating abundance where it was easy. And it felt amazing. It felt amazing. And then you carry that energy throughout your day. So then a couple weeks after that, I'm like, holy shit, like, okay, right? The brain fog's going down. I haven't felt this good in years. And then I was ready to start thinking about money. Because at the time in the beginning, if I tried to picture some vision of me with money, my brain was going to call my BS and kick it out. And so in the beginning, it was too hard to think of, it's too hard to visualize an improved money situation. However, when you do really good abundance work for a couple weeks or some period of time, all of a sudden you can feel the possibility and you can start to see it. So that brings me to future casting. You hear different teachers talk about this in different ways. Sometimes you'll hear somebody say, you need to know what you want and believe it's going to happen, but that can be tricky because it hasn't happened and you don't believe it. But we need to have this vision. We need to have some sort of vision or some sort of something that we want. And so the future cast for me is saying, there's this thing I want. And if I had it, I would feel like this. But as I practice emitting the future feeling today, I am casting out the energy I want in the future. So for example, at this time, remember, I'm not even, that big client hadn't come along yet. At this time, I'm just in debt and not making any money. So all I really wanted at the time, the most exciting financial goal for me at the time was the thought of paying off my original $220,000 of debt. And so I future casted the moment after writing the last check. So I get this snapshot in my mind where I've like written the last check, the debt is gone, and I'm like, I'm free, right? And so I'm future casting. So I have this vision of me standing there in my driveway with this grin on my face, fucking proud, feeling like nobody can come and get me. Nobody can bother me. I'm just here and I'm independent. And so I got this vision in my mind, and I started, after I did my little abundance work, I started exercising this vision of, oh my God, yes, I did it. I'm free. I did it. And so I was able to brew that energy up of this moment in the future and feel the success of it 18 months before it happened. And that gave me so much energy to think like, oh my God, like, the energy of like, I paid it off and I did it. So every single day I'm reading my rewrites. Every single day I'm practicing abundance. And every single day I'm future casting this moment of like, fuck yesness. And this ties into number 5, which is the routine. You gotta get into a routine where you're doing these first 4 things like your life depends on it. This is the fine print. Your fine print is knowing this stuff. Knowing this stuff is not enough. You have to do it. And so number 5 is saying, I'm going to create a routine where I do this like my motherfucking life depends on it, because my motherfucking life does depend on it. And basically, that's
standing ovation. Standing ovation. No, but it's awesome. And it's so, guys, I hope you are feeling as energized as I am, because honestly, I know I said it a few minutes ago. It is that, I'm just going to use this new word that I heard from you, motherfucking. It is that motherfucking simple. And I also swear a lot, so I'm very comfortable with that. But sorry if it offends, but I say it, and I know, Alleah, you do too, with that emphasis, because it is exciting. It is, the power is in you. And, yes, this is a session about making money, but it's so much more than making money. It is so much more than making money. It is about making a life that you motherfucking love. It is about having love and joy, appreciating abundance.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needed me. Money coming in repeatedly.
The next 5 years went very differently. I realized that I had been focusing on the mechanics of growing a wine business, buying and selling wine, which is very different than focusing on establishing wealth and ease in my life. I realized the most important thing I needed to do was to become aware of my brain saying things like, where's the money? I don't know if this is gonna work. I'm so stressed. I don't know what to do. All that stuff. And intentionally shift out of that and back into curiosity with having wealth and ease on my mind, not just buying and selling wine. The next few years, whoo, you guys, it was another 10,000 baby steps, but this time leading me from a path of stress and debt into a beautiful life of flow and abundance.
You keep using the word ease, and I'm like, mwah, mwah, yes, ease, ease. I mean, I always say I'm like the type A triple Aries alpha. Ease is a new idea for me.
I can tell you how I started manifesting easy days. You want to know how I manifest easy days? Okay, because I remember when I was like, because I had this new thing where I'm like, oh, manifest what you really want, not what you assume you want. So I'm in this process of realizing I don't give a fuck about a wine importing business. Stop manifesting a wine importing business. Start manifesting what you want. So I identified I want easy days. Okay, great. So step 1, you want easy days. Number 2, well, what would that look like? I asked myself, what would an easy day look like? So I was like, okay, an easy day would look like a slow morning, maybe some meditation, maybe some exercise, maybe a green smoothie. Now that's not the real work. That's the pre-work to this next piece, which is the very important work. I go more into this. I have a freebie to show your guys how to actually go way deeper in abundance and future casting. So I'll go in that with that thing for them.
Amazing. We'll make sure we have the links for you guys. We'll have the links. You can find it really easy. Go ahead, though.
So we needed to, so I was like, okay, easy days. So I want easy days. What would that look like? And then what would that feel like? What would that slow morning feel like? What would that easy day look like? So I never contemplated this. So I had to close my eyes and be like, what would an easy day feel like? It would feel like, okay, it would feel light. It would look like I do a couple little emails and then decide if I go out to lunch or do a project. It would feel like, you don't necessarily have to find the words, but you find that feeling in your body. What would that feel like? And okay, then we realized, oh, that's a new feeling. Haven't done that before. So then I knew I needed to brew up the feeling of ease before going into my intense days. So I started right before I would open up my laptop. I'd set my feet on the ground and I'd say, easy, easy days. It would feel like, and so I would find that feeling, then slowly open up the laptop computer and try to hold on while doing stuff. And then at first you'd hold on for 3 seconds. Eventually you can hold on for maybe 5 seconds, eventually a couple minutes, eventually maybe an hour, until you are dragging ease into your not easy life. And as you drag ease and require yourself to feel ease in the midst of something intense, that's when that becomes a default energy. And you start now with that default energy. You start from there. I realized I need an email assistant. So the first inspired action I had out of that was, I have 8 hours of emails and I would still not get done. I need somebody to help clean out my email inbox with the easy stuff. So that was the first person I hired, and she still works for me 9 years later. And she does way more than that now. But that was an inspired action that came out of having ease in my body. And then over a course of a year or two, it really developed into me building a team and only doing what I could do. So I could have easy days, which I still enjoy, because I took that very seriously.
Yeah. And I love that there's a ton to unpack. The clarity and having those really clear intentions. And it sounds like probably it took a little while to even have the clarity around the ease. But guys, if you start with what Alleah is saying, then the clarity will come to you, right? And yes, I know it can be tempting. I want 17 things, 1 or 2 things, right? And then you can keep layering on. But what you're describing, Alleah, it's so accessible to all of us. And when I think about going from that place of stress and fear, using curiosity as a superpower, it's like, and even how that led to your getting email assistant, right? Because it's like when you're stressed and you don't know, and you're just rewriting your to-do list, the possibilities aren't there for you, right? You created all these possibilities for yourself, and you created all these openings through being profoundly curious and being willing to change. And I can't say it enough, you guys. It's that simple. And I mean, it is such an extraordinary story. And I can't emphasize enough. Yes, it's about making money, and it is about making a life that you love, whether it's ease, or I want more time with my kids, or I want this great relationship, or I want more peace, or you guys decide what it is, right? But these are the steps.
Yes.
And what you really want, and I love just to emphasize, because you thought you wanted a wine import business, and what you really wanted was making money and having ease, and great. Mm-hmm. Like that you discovered, like you allowed yourself to discover that is beautiful. Yeah. So then you sold your business, and now you are doing what?
Yeah. So basically it got to, I sold the business to somebody who was a loyal, faithful person in the business for 7 years. The business is still running. He still has it. He runs it a little differently. He has a concierge service and is a wine club and everything like that. So that still exists out there. And I remember I was like, what's next? And I, for a little while, wanted to be smart about what was next. And I thought I was going to get into some real estate investing, but then wanted to have fun. And so I put that out there. And it was years ago, actually, I became a life coach. Like, it was like we saw the Tony Robbins things like 8 years ago, I became a life coach. So I've been doing this coaching for a long time. And I would have a small roster of clients on the side of the wine business. So afterwards, I was basically like, all right, well, I don't want to waste my time going out to lunch perpetually every single day. And so I started a Law of Attraction YouTube channel. And then it just grew to saying, okay, I'm going to take what I do, coaching, and scale that online. And so now I have a nice audience online. I have a program. I have clients. And I basically do this with business owners, mostly people who about 80% business owners, maybe 20% career people who basically this work resonates and they want to execute this. They want to be really fucking good at doing these 5 things because they understand that is at the center of what they've been learning. A lot of my clients, they've been into this just like us for like decades, and they feel like this is like that missing key. This is like that last piece. This is like how you actually bridge the gap from knowing this stuff to doing this stuff. However, what I would really suggest, if somebody out there likes the vibe, I have recorded a really beautiful abundance meditation, and that is my gift to your audience. And in this abundance meditation, it's really like I'm walking you through how to do the abundance work and how to do the future casting. And so they can go to my website, lawofattractionwithalleah.com/free, and get that, because that's going to take what we kind of went over a little quickly today and deep dive into that. And so for people out there, if you can realize I need to rewrite my shit, I need to increase my abundance vibration, and I need a future cast like my motherfucking life depends on it, and you can start doing all 3 of these things as your primary strategy, it's not going to take forever to completely change your body, your business, and your financial situation. But I'm not somebody who said 70 grand dropped out of the sky in 3 days. So you do kind of need to like buckle the fuck up because we got to do this and we got to give it some time. So go grab that, and you'll be able to go a little bit deeper in the work.
Amen, sister. Oh my gosh, Alleah, I could talk to you for days. This session has been such a gift, equal parts practical and just inspiring, because again, it's like, oh my God, it's so easy. And hearing your story is, it just makes it that much accessible, I think, to all of us, right? So before we close, let me recap just a few of the key takeaways. One, guys, your old stories don't define you. They can be rewritten. They must be rewritten. And this whole business of going from theory to practice, you got to change, right? Starting with identifying those old stories, so practical, and making them believable, taking those small steps, infusing them with curiosity. And, like we talked about, manifestation, when it is structured and pragmatic and real and believable, it happens. It absolutely happens. Even if the outside impact isn't felt right away, like Alleah talked about, she was feeling so much better in days and weeks. And I can attest to that myself. Okay, last couple quick things. Using the phrase, there is so much, whether you're looking at the trees, looking at your coffee cups, looking at your children, wherever you are able to tap into that abundance in your life, and you do that regularly and make that a habit, it punches above its weight. And I know, because I've followed a very similar practice. I love that so much. It's a power move, guys. And finally, future casting makes your desires feel real, achievable, and magnetic. Just getting that little snippet in your mind, just like Alleah said, when she wrote that last check, how that was a driving visual and feeling for her. So whatever it is for you, and in her case, it took about 18 months. Maybe for you, it's the thing that's 2 months away or 3 months away. But anchoring that vision and that feeling so you can future cast with ease. Amen. And finally, it's got to be routine. You got to do it. It's not theory, it's practice. All right, Alleah, you are the best, guys. I hope you love this, and I look forward to seeing you in the next session of The Power of Manifestation. Thanks so much for tuning in.